All right. What a great day for women's basketball. I was just incredible atmosphere, one that any competitor would dream to be a part of and to play in front of. So proud of Beaver Nation. Certainly they brought some fans too, and it just made for an awesome atmosphere. It was 11 a.m. I worried a little bit about that, and so cool. To get to play in front of a crowd like that and compete. I thought Oregon played a great game, and it was just a really good basketball game. And that's Pac-12 for you, and that's rivalry for you. Two teams that wanted to win at the highest level and prepared at the highest level. I thought they had a great game plan. I liked our game plan, and I thought both teams did a great job executing it, making each other work like crazy just to get a look. And it was 80 minutes of that. And so you have all the mental dynamics that play in and all the emotion that plays in. And I was really proud of our team for showing the grit once again to make the plays down the stretch, close on the run that they did. Obviously, Sid had a phenomenal performance. That fourth quarter was something that I don't think anybody that was in this gym would forget today, what you just watched. And certainly they had some great performances too. Sabrina played a great game and made us pay for every mistake we made. But throughout our roster, we had great performances. We played great D, and it's 8 games to go. And this team fought, and they remained in first place.
Sid, how'd that fourth quarter feel to you, and just what was the key out there for you?
Well, there's a lot of time left. They went on a run. They had momentum going into the fourth quarter, and then they carried that through early on in the fourth. Coach Rook called a set. He drew it up during the timeout. That took me off the ball. We've never done anything we've never done anything like that. And so it was a different look, and I thought it was it helped us get into a different type of flow. And we, as a group, we made plays down the stretch on both ends of the floor. We got huge stops, we got rebounds, and we took back the momentum. So it was a fun fourth quarter.
Yeah, we talked about that. You guys call a timeout. I think you guys were down 6 with 7.5, and had come in struggling. What did you guys talk about, and then how well did you guys execute on both ends of the floor in those closing minutes?
It was really just making adjustments to the screen and roll they had going, because that was one of their big things throughout the game. So just shutting that down and just giving each other awareness that it's final minutes of the game, so just take care of business.
Coach, both teams had great ball protection and no turnovers. Your team, speaking on that issue, just working on it, or is it the intensity of the close game?
Why we only had 9? Yeah, and I that's been something that's true of this team. This team takes care of the ball better than any team that we've had since I've been here, and it's just who we are, experience-wise at the guard positions, but also even who our young players are. They make good decisions. So I think both teams were committed to position more than anything, all game. There was not a lot of gambling going on. Certainly they were pressuring Sid, because Orla did a great job on her all weekend and made that difficult. But they were allowing us to run our stuff and we protected, So I thought we did take care of it well. And, for them to only have 3, we don't force a lot of turnovers. It's not one of the things we schematically look to do. We want you to miss more than make mistakes. But to have 3, that's what I'm telling you. The level of focus by both teams this weekend, it was incredible. It was unbelievable. It really was. It was just 2 incredible games where both teams brought everything they had for every minute. How special is that? When do you see that? It was really amazing. And so I think the turnovers, like you said, were a testament to that.
Scott, we spent 4 years talking about the will of Jamie Weisner and how she would just power you guys to games. I think Sid could give her a run for her money right now. When you were recruiting Sydney, obviously she was a fantastic shooter, but do you remember a game or a moment when you thought, I have to have that kid because she's not going to let us lose?
Yes. I believe, in Chicago, and I was up. There was a court where all the coaches were above it. It's like we were on a track at a fitness center, and she was playing against a really good AAU team from California. And Sid, I don't know if I don't want to offend anybody, but didn't have a lot of talent on her team. They were good, but they were clearly outmatched. 1 through 5 or 1 through 10 or whatever, but she willed her team to win and hit threes like she did today and hit shots and just like, we're winning, and you could just tell she has this fire and this ability to overcome and play big in those moments and just live for them, and so today We saw that, and so when you have that in a leader on your team, and you have two with Jamie, and I mean, Bree made a couple big free throws today. It's a confidence that just rubs off on everyone. And so at this level, there's lots of winners out there, and so today Sid clearly demonstrated that's just in her blood. It's who she is.
Sid, this was your last Civil War game at home. It's the last Civil War series in general. What do you think right now?
8-0. Thank you, Marianne. Oregon played us tough this weekend. They're a very talented team, but I'm thankful to say that we were able to get 2 wins out of it.
And then Bree, you guys were plus 17, if I'm doing that correctly, in rebounds. Was that a specified point coming in the game, and how well do you guys do?
Absolutely. We just wanted to do better than we did last game. And, I mean, that was one of our main focuses in the post was grab the boards, don't let them have anything or any second chances.
Scott, offensively, you go from 43 points on Friday night to 67, and obviously the same could be said for Oregon with that jump. But how are you guys able to sort of get more of a rhythm on offense today?
Well, I felt a lot of it had to do with what they were doing. Yeah, I mean, there was an urgency. I mean, the other night, had they hit shots, that they missed, we would have had to hit shots too. And it's interesting how games go because you tend to just do what you have to do. And, when they came out and knocked down those perimeter shots early, McGuire shot it really well tonight throughout the game. When she hit those first 3, it's like, okay, they're not going to miss those shots. And that makes them and anybody difficult to guard when you have 5 shooters or 5 players going. And so we had to answer, so I think there was just more urgency on us. We went inside a little bit more early. And so there was just more urgency on putting the ball in the basket. So I think we played faster, much more aggressive, and I wish we could have sustained it or started our run a little sooner than we did because I think we could have played a little more aggressive throughout the game, but I'm glad we did it when we did. But I kind of figured this game would be slightly different. I knew they weren't going to be happy missing those shots. They were going to be laser focused coming in. And so, we were ready for that and kind of expected it.
Scott, you guys attacked the rim a lot the first half, especially from the high post driving. Was that something you guys talked about wanting to change today compared to Friday?
Well, I thought those opportunities were there Friday as well. We talked about looking high-low, as part of the scheme that was effective for us on Friday. And so I thought it would be again. I thought our post did a good job making decisions, attacking and being aggressive from there. And it was clearly one of, just like what we gave them, it was one of the spots on the court where we needed to be aggressive from, and we were.
So it's definitely felt like one of the most competitive Civil War weeks that you guys have had in a long time. Does having a more competitive rivalry kind of push and elevate the level that you guys are able to have, especially in the fourth game?
Yeah, we didn't want to lose. Coach Rook said the same thing after the game. He said, "Why didn't you guys play like that the whole game?" And we said we want to put on a show for our fans. So I think, it was fun. It was super competitive, like you said. Give credit to Oregon. They're talented. They knocked down shots today, but we made the plays necessary to win. And I think that goes to show the experiences that we've been able to gain throughout the years and how to finish and close games. And so it was a lot of fun, but happy we won.
Coach, what are your impressions of Oregon after playing them twice now? They did pretty well. I think you guys executed down the stretch, 9 to 10 possessions, scoring. Clearly experience had something to do with that, but they seem to have some pretty good talent. What do you think of the Ducks and then number 20, Ionescu?
Yeah, well, we've watched through the recruiting process. You watch everyone, so we all know each other's teams inside and out. We all recruit the same people. The whole Pac-12 does. So Sabrina is a really good player. She's a clutch player. She's played on the biggest stage that she could at every level that she's been at. And so I know she lives for those big moments. We saw it with the Cal game, right? She made the big plays there. And that's who she is. She hit the big shot the other night, to put them up 1. And so she's a good player, and she's one of those, that has the ability to raise her level when it's needed. And so that doesn't surprise any of us really good. And so they have talent throughout their roster. I think the biggest difference, I was asked this the other night too, I think the biggest difference is that now, Coach Graves has been there 3 years. And so just through longevity, you develop a culture, just like we have. I've been here 7 years. And so our culture, we expect to win. We play defense at a level that we have to win, and we do whatever it takes. And I think the longer you're there, the more your culture gets in and the more your expectations raise. And, that those kids went there to win. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're good, and clearly they wanted to beat us, and so this was their best weekend of basketball. We've watched them when you're travel partners, you watch the film of the game before, and it's been Oregon the last month, right? And so we've watched them, and yeah, they're on a natural progression, I would say, where they're improving and getting more efficient.
Scott, is a more competitive Civil War, is that good for the state of Oregon and women's basketball for just the Pacific Northwest in general, considering how far, Washington, you guys are?
Yeah, it's good for the Pac-12. There's no negatives to it. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, this is, you do this to be in situations like that. I mean, that's where you find out what you're made of. We can talk about Bree getting intentionally fouled and coming through and making her free throws for the rest of her life, right? Well, if we're up 30, that doesn't matter. So there's no negatives. I think this conference is absolutely the best in the country, top to bottom. It's coached as well as anywhere. I think the best, to be honest. And so there's not a night off. And so there's many great teams. And so competitive is good.
In the fourth quarter, when Sydney started to take it over the way that she does, and she's done that before, obviously, what's your communication with her? Do you really talk to her, or do you just kind of let her go? Sort of like a sad omen, she's throwing a perfect game, you just kind of let her keep doing her thing.
Just shoot the ball. Get the ball and shoot the ball, And so, no, I mean, there's just a different level of intensity. I mean, we live for that. We live for those moments. We've been in lots of big moments like that, and she's hit lots of big shots, and you saw a few huge ones. The one the other night was huge, a road Pac-12 game, tied with a minute to go, and she calls her own number, and we execute the play beautifully, and she knocks it down. And then tonight, so it's basically, how do we get her loose? It's time, and so let's go, and so that's what we did, and that's what she does.
Let her fly.
Let her fly.
Two players. 8 games to go, clearly the whole month before you even get to the Pac-12 tournament. How's this team rounding into shape as far as, hey, do you think you can make another run to the level you reached last year? What are some things you feel like in the next month that this team needs to do to get better to reach that sort of level? Maybe I hope you answer that.
I think we're taking it day by day. It's exciting because there's so many things that we can get better at as a group and individually. And the sky's the limit for us. So you never know with certain matchups, different teams that you might see. But I think if we focus on our weaknesses, whatever they may be, and then take care of them, who knows what's in store.
Yeah, I think Scott has said it before. We definitely have a lot of potential to grow, and each game brings that, like we said before, each team that we play brings a certain level of competition, so they bring out our weaknesses, and we just take those games as lessons, and it'll help us in the future.
That let her fly mentality. Can you just take us through, you hit the 2 big threes and then the drive to the hole? I can't remember which shots you guys were.
I can't either.
But yeah, what do you remember about those plays down the stretch?
It seemed like I had space, so I just shot them. I didn't really think about it. I know there was one time, I think it was the last 3, that she fell, and it seemed like, all right, good opportunity. I'll take the shot. So nothing's really going through my mind. It's not necessarily looking to be aggressive and score, but whatever needs to be done for our team, whatever is best for that possession, whether it's passing, getting it set up, spacing out, just running the offense. That's my job as a point guard. And so the ball was in my hands, and it was my time to hit a shot. That's what I'm supposed to do. So didn't really think about it, just let her fly.
So speaking of that, Bree, when you see Sid do what she does, how much confidence, how much energy does that give the rest of you guys seeing her make those plays to get back on defense and get another opportunity?
I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know it gets me pumped every single time. It just brings a certain energy and just fuels us, really.
Sydney, this is a strange question, but do you have some green fingernails going on right now?
No. Teal. It's like a shiny teal. Not green, never green. Thank you, Lindsay.